What if the father of Western philosophy foresaw our collapse and was powerless to stop it? Plato's nightmare, the philosophy he feared would destroy society. We know Plato for his idealism, the Republic, the philosopher king, the search for truth beyond illusion. But hidden within his legacy lies a darker vision, a prophecy, a warning, not about tyrants or barbarians, but about us. Plato feared democracy, not because he was an elitist, but because he understood its hidden rot. He watched Athens descend into mob rule, into spectacle, into the worship of opinion over wisdom. He saw his own teacher, Socrates, executed not by tyrants, but by citizens, by the very people democracy claimed to liberate. He saw a system that feeds the masses illusions and calls it freedom, a culture where truth is mocked, virtue is performative, and the loudest voice wins, not the wisest. In his dialogues, he speaks of the cave, a place where people mistake shadows for reality. But his real fear wasn't the prisoners. It was the moment one of them returned to the cave with truth and was murdered for it. What Plato feared most wasn't ignorance. It was a society that chooses ignorance, a civilization addicted to comfort, to consensus, to self-flattering lies, one that celebrates appearance and shuns introspection. He feared a democracy where anyone could speak, but no one could think. Fast forward to today. We scroll instead of reflect. We react instead of reason. Our culture is built on virality, not virtue. We elect performers, not philosophers. We fear silence more than stupidity. Plato's nightmare is no longer hypothetical. It's here. And the cave? It's not made of stone anymore, it's digital. Social media feeds us a curated reality. Our tribes echo back what we already believe. Algorithms reward outrage, not insight. And when someone dares to think differently, to challenge the narrative, they're not reasoned with. They're canceled, mocked, burned at the stake of public opinion. Plato didn't hate democracy because he loved kings. He hated what democracy becomes when untethered from wisdom, a theater of ego, a factory of noise, a slow suicide disguised as freedom. He believed only those who had conquered their own inner chaos, those who had turned their soul into a disciplined instrument, should be allowed to guide others. Not influencers, not mobs, not marketers, but people who had seen truth, wrestled with it, and come back humbled. He called them philosophers, not the ones who lecture, the ones who listen to reality without flinching. We didn't listen. We built a world where the philosopher is irrelevant, where depth is a liability, where speed beats clarity, where no one has time to think, but everyone has time to judge. And so the nightmare unfolds. What Plato feared has metastasized. We now teach our children that attention is power, that validation is truth, and that morality is a trend. Influencers preach virtue while selling products. Schools prepare students for productivity, not wisdom. Debate is replaced with digital shouting matches, and courage is measured in likes. The soul of the Republic, what Plato called the harmony of reason, spirit, and desire, has fractured. Reason is drowned in distraction. Spirit is redirected into outrage. Desire is commodified into endless consumption. This is not decay, this is design, and we are complicit. But what if we could escape it? What if Plato's fear could become our fuel? Not by going backward, not by building a republic, but by doing what the cave dwellers refuse to do. Look at the light, even when it blinds us. Step 1. Embrace inner discipline. You cannot guide others if you haven't ruled yourself. Plato believed the soul had 3 parts: desire, spirit, and reason. In most people, desire rules. In the brave, spirit. But in the awakened, reason takes the throne. That doesn't mean cold logic. It means clarity, order, self-mastery. Make your soul a republic. Step 2. Reclaim silence. The world is drowning in noise. Opinions shouted without thought, reactions masquerading as insight. Plato believed silence wasn't absence, it was preparation. It was the space where truth could echo. Start each day with 10 minutes of brutal stillness. No phone, no voices, just your mind. Let it confront what it's been avoiding. Step 3. Read the world like a dialogue. Plato never preached. He questioned. He wrote in dialogues because he believed truth lives between opposing views. Don't just consume information. Interrogate it. Ask who benefits. Ask what's missing. Learn to listen with suspicion and speak with restraint. Step 4. Resist the algorithm. Social media is today's cave. It shows you shadows and calls them real. Curate your inputs. Unfollow outrage. Limit your dopamine loops. Replace scroll time with deep reading. Philosophy isn't old books. It's any practice that teaches you to think against yourself. Step 5. Become dangerous to ignorance. Not violent, not arrogant, dangerous. That means knowing how to dismantle lies with questions. That means embodying clarity in a world that feeds on confusion. When people see you, let them feel unease. Not because you judge them, but because you remind them they've settled. Step 6. Form micro-societies of reason. You will not fix the world alone, but you can form alliances, circles of thinkers, small republics of clarity, friends who value thought over status, truth over comfort. These groups are rare, but they're seeds. Every philosophical revolution began with a small room full of dangerous minds. Step 7. Confront your own hypocrisy. Plato warned that without regular introspection, even the wise fall. You cannot build a soul republic if you lie to yourself. Look into your own shadows. What illusions do you still love? What comforts keep you from awakening fully? Confront them, not once, but regularly. Step 8. Master the art of asking. The right question is more powerful than 1,000 declarations. Learn to ask the questions that disarm ego, that pierce through narrative, that provoke self-awareness. The Socratic method wasn't a technique, it was a weapon against complacency. Step 9. Protect your attention. Treat your attention as sacred. The modern world wants to monetize your focus, to fragment it, to exhaust it. Don't let them. Build rituals. Guard your mornings. Fast from distraction. Think before you absorb. Absorb before you react. Step 10. Rebuild the cave differently. You can't destroy society, but you can redesign your role within it. Create media that elevates, not entertains. Create conversations that awaken, not sedate. Create spaces, physical or digital, that act as lighthouses, not echo chambers. Become the philosopher Plato hoped would return, not with resentment, but with resolve. Plato's nightmare wasn't inevitable, it was a warning. And warnings are only useful if someone hears them. So hear this. The collapse of thought begins with the individual who stops thinking, and the rebirth of reason begins with the one who dares to think again. Be that one. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the next truth might be the one they fear you'll hear. Comment below. What's the lie your society taught you to love? This is not just a philosophy video. This is an invitation to leave the cave, and this time, not to come back.